Welcome back, TMG fam. What is up? And what is up is school trips. Now, if you're in school, shout outs to you, man. Keep doing well. If you're not in school, then reminisce with me for a minute. Remember those school trips? Hold on, you only went to school for a few things, right? For a few things. You love going for gym and PE, right? You love going for the trips. And you love to go for like movie day because you knew you was going to probably eat popcorn, have a class, have some food delivered, maybe pizza day in your class or something like that. That's what you went to school for. It was all about that. And the only day at lunch that you liked was chicken day. Now for us, I think that was Wednesday or Thursday. But those were the only highlights of the school that you remember. You know what I mean? Other than kicking it with your friends, right? You had some legendary trips that might have taken place, right? Well, here's some 10 school trips that went horribly wrong. Now, you may be a parent that might be sending your kid on a school trip soon, and this video may, make you a little bit hesitant. That's what it's supposed to do. Don't just get real relaxed and just send your kids out there. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to make you think. Make you think. Parents. All right, so we're gonna check out 10 school trips that went horribly wrong. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, join the fam. All right, once you do that, give us a quick, brief little moment of silence. And when I say brief, I mean brief. Moment of silence for the haters, man. That's enough. Told you it was gonna be brief. And run the likes up. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Let's go.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 school trips that went horribly wrong.
Y'all put in the comment section what, was a disaster school trip for you.
We all loved field trips at school. It really didn't matter where you went, it was just better than being stuck at school. But these
facts.
Students would rather be in class because their school trips ended up going horribly wrong, and in some cases changing their lives forever. Before we begin, be sure to click the subscribe button and the bell icon too. Coming in at number 10, we have mountain. School trips can be really fun, but it always helps when your teacher isn't totally brainless.
Y'all really got some really dope schools. They never took us to no mountains. Most we was probably gonna get was a museum or something.
This wasn't the case for one class trip that took place in 2014 in the UK. A teacher took her class of 39 girls up a mountain for a trip. The mountain was one of the largest in England, which meant only people who were serious hikers should go up it. But despite the mountain being 2,500 feet up in the air, the teacher thought it would be fine for the girls to wander up there in skirts and sneakers. They soon found this to be impossible and freezing cold, but that's not all. The teacher had also forgotten to take a map or compass with her. It soon got dark and they became lost.
Are you serious? This fool ain't even have a compass is. Come on, man. It's essential in keeping up with direction. Map, essential. Huh? So that makes me ask, do y'all ask questions? No, you just go by your kids' words. Hey, mom, dad, we got a school trip. Where y'all going? To the mountains. Can we go? Cool. Can you sign this permission slip? That's it. You don't investigate. You don't make sure the teachers are equipped to be able to take your kids into the mountains. And what parent didn't say, y'all going to the mountains and they making y'all wear this and those shoes? Huh?
And was stranded up on the mountain before finally calling 911. A mountain rescue team soon found them wearing old garbage bags as they were so cold. Thankfully they were rescued, but it doesn't change the amount of danger this dumb teacher put those kids in. I'm not sure if she got fired or even sued by one of the kids' parents, but at the very least
she would have needed to run and hide. He or she would have needed to hide. I'm telling you.
Shouldn't be allowed near any mountains ever again. Next up is Monkey Sanctuary. In 2016, 33 students and 6 teachers from North Cobb High School in Atlanta went on a school trip to Belize. Among those students was 14-year-old Tamari Elijah Jackson, who was a freshman at the school. They were visiting a monkey sanctuary for 5 days. On the first day, their first activity was to go into the Sabun River. They were to wade into the river and then after that go hiking. However, the hiking never took place because while the students were wading around the shallow water, Tamari was reported missing. They searched for a while all around the monkey-based sanctuary when finally his body was found. However, his passing is said to be very mysterious. He was a good swimmer and the water was very shallow. Nobody saw him wander off and his passing appeared to be a total mystery. In 2017, his family sued, saying the staff were aware of his disappearance for hours before doing anything about it. The school had been doing the trip for 4 years and nothing bad had ever happened before. The school now goes to Costa Rica instead since the incident.
Precious cargo. What do you mean my kid just drowned? Or my kid is missing? And now it's a search going on. Precious cargo. Like a lot of times, and what's happening, I think, nowadays is they're short-staffed. So your span of control, you can't take 10 to 15 to 20 kids into the woods like that and you only have one teacher or two. No, you need way more of that. You know what I'm saying? Back in the days, parents used to volunteer to go, but parents are so busy now. So that doesn't mean still go. You should just try to find something, less adventurous.
Next up is morgue. Field trips are usually to fun, inspiring places to get kids excited about learning, or just a theme park to bribe the class to be quiet. However, back in 2010, a New York school thought it would be a great idea to visit the local morgue. For those who don't know, the morgue is where bodies are stored after the people have passed away. So the high school took a group of students to Staten Island Morgue. Now that's already creepy, but I guess it did give them a better understanding of science. They saw many odd and scary things, but the cherry on top of the cake was a brain in a jar. The kids were fascinated by it and asked the tour guide for more information about it. She said it was a brain floating in formaldehyde that they use to keep brains fresh so they can examine and experiment with them. However, one student turned the jar around and saw a name tag that sent a chill down their spine. The name on the jar was of a student that went to their high school before they were involved in a terrible car collision months earlier. Of course, the kids on the trip told the entire school and word quickly spread to the kids' parents. They were furious as they'd barely gotten over it happening in the first place. But what's more, they weren't even told nor had they given permission for the medical examiner to do this. It really makes you wonder how many other—
Oh my. Are you serious? Bro, fam. Oh, talk about being pissed off to the highest level of being pissed off. Number one, we're still grieving. We have to hear about this because it's a rumor that's then ran out through the school like diarrhea. And then the fact that we did not authorize somebody to take our child's brain out of it. Bro, I gotta be living in like the Twilight Zone these days, man. Some of the stuff I'm hearing is just, I've got to be on another planet, man. This is not Earth anymore. I'm somewhere else. I gotta be somewhere else, bro.
Other people they secretly did this to as well. The parents sued the medical examiner for $1 million for doing this, and I have to say, rightly so. Next up is Plantation. Back in the days of the slave trade was a terrible time in American history. However, it's important that we learn from our mistakes, which is why it's taught in schools. Most schools take care to explain delicately to young kids what took place. But one school was far from sensitive during a field trip back in 2013. The 4th grade class went to a plantation house turned museum in Georgia, USA. Everything was meant to be interactive and authentic, and even had actors who dressed as slaves or slave owners. The kids also did activities, including some rather cringeful ones such as cotton picking. But wait, it gets much worse. The class was split into 2 groups, with the black children being sent to cotton pick while the white kids tried on old-timey clothing inside the house.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? I'm being pumped. Where's Ashton at? Somebody call. Are you kidding me, bro? Are you? Nah, fam. You sent my kid to do what? You sent my kid to do what? While everyone else that were of another ethnicity was where? All right. At that point in time, the off guard of me swinging without thinking probably happens in that moment right there while I have you face to face. Male teacher, I'm presuming. You know what I mean? Like, what in the hell would make you think that was okay? So, how did it go? Hey, all right, we're going to gather up real quick. Okay, I need black kids over here. I need the white kids over here. I need the Asian kids over here. This over here. All right, the black kids, I'm going to put y'all out here. And the cotton white kids, I need y'all inside. Like, who even, like, teachers are supposed to have common sense, man. What would put, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't just hear that. I didn't just hear that.
Turned museum in Georgia, USA. Everything was meant to be interactive and authentic, and even had actors who dressed as slaves or slave owners. The kids also did activities, including some rather cringeful ones, such as cotton picking. But wait, it gets much, much worse. The class was split into two groups, with the black children being sent to cotton pick while the white kids tried on old-timey clothing inside the house. I'm sure the Plantation Museum employees didn't mean to be offensive, but talk about an ill-advised activity. I'm guessing they were trying to recreate how the old times were, but they really didn't think it through. Suffice to say, the parents and some of the kids were not happy, and the school and Plantation quickly apologized. At least nobody passed away on this trip, but it must have been pretty uncomfortable. Next up is Nudist Beach. In 2015, a group of Cub Scouts aged 9 and 10 were visiting a beach in San Diego. They were being chaperoned by parents and Cub Scout leaders. It was all normal until they saw one man getting undressed. They assumed he was crazy or something, but as they continued their hike, they realized they'd wandered onto a nudist beach. The parents and group leaders quickly tried to change the route they were taking to get the kids away from all the naked people. However, they took a wrong turn and got lost on the nudist beach. The parents were less than impressed when one of the leaders tried to reassure them by saying he goes through here all the time. Eventually, they got out and had to face a pack of angry parents when it came time for the kids to be picked up. It just goes to show even something simple like a walk on the beach can turn into the worst field trip ever. Or
how you fix that situation? Be like, hey boys, today is the day you become a man, huh?
Maybe the best if those Boy Scouts were just a few years older. Afterwards, they even had to have a meeting with the group leaders, parents, and local officials in order to assess the situation. The Boy Scouts of America said proper protocol was followed during the incident. However, the parents disagree. One parent even said she was nauseated by seeing all the naked people on the beach. Okay, that is a bit of an overreaction and kind of offensive to the people on the beach too. Jeez. Next up is water park. So some of these trips sound a little boring and educational, like going to an old plantation or a morgue. However, going to a water park during school time sounds fun and is perhaps every kid's dream. However, in 2015, a class of kids from the UK went to Barcelona, Spain and visited a water park. The teachers told them all to use sunscreen as the temperatures were near 40 degrees. The teachers offered them factor 50 cream, however the kids, being kids, didn't want this. Thanks to this, 4 kids were sunburned so badly they had to go to hospital. 15-year-old Connor Pritchard had to spend weeks in hospital since the trip. However, believe it or not, the parents were mad at the teachers about this. The teachers said they told the kids to apply sunscreen, but of course couldn't do it themselves. If your kid burns themselves at a water park, that's not the teacher's fault, especially if these kids were old enough to make their own choices. But now the school says they might ban all future school trips if the children can't follow the rules. Next up is beach. One day in 2015, a Texas school went on a field trip to a beach. Now that sounds nice enough, however, as kids sometimes do on beaches, one went missing. It was a 12-year-old girl named Samira Carlo. Despite being at the beach with 19 classmates and 2 teachers, she went missing while swimming. She was fairly far out to sea, standing on a sandbank with a teacher and several other female students. Some of the other kids began to get scared by the waves and being fairly far out in the sea, so one teacher brought them back to the shore. However, when they were back at the shore, they turned around and didn't see Samira. Rescue teams, the police and Coast Guards searched for 4 hours before her body was finally found. Her mom was spotted at the beach devastated, as anyone would be. The next day, the students wore blue into class, which was Samira's favorite color, and many students also wore bows to commemorate her. This is one of the saddest and worst field trips ever. Not to mention, the teachers really should have kept track of what all of their students were doing if they were going to take them so far out to sea. Next up is movies. Watching a movie doesn't sound like a bad school trip, right? I mean, the movie theater is overpriced and sticky, but it's not all that bad. Well, once you hear about this field trip in context, your mind will change. One day, the Dallas Independent School District transported 5,000 boys from various schools in the Dallas area to a movie theater to see Red Tails. Red Tails is an inspiring movie about black men overcoming barriers in the military due to their race. But what about the girls, you might be asking? Well, they had to stay in school and watch Akila and the Bee, which is all about a black girl competing in a spelling bee. The school board meant well, they were just trying to empower black students and teach them some black history. However, the segregation of boys and girls made parents pretty mad. Women in the military also got mad too, and don't even get me started on black women in the military. The district defended themselves, saying the movie theater couldn't hold all the students. However, there was just too many holes.
They always try to come up with a way to save it. Hey, we just couldn't fit them all. Hey, get out of here, bro. You're lying.
And that excuse. Next up is pregnant. This one took place at a high school in Florida. One group of students went to a rural town and bunked together in a hotel for the duration of a field trip. The trip was 5 days long, so not that much could happen in that time, right? Well, that's where you would be wrong. When the students returned, it was discovered that 4 of the female students were pregnant. There were around 20 boys and 30 girls on the trip, and they'd all stayed in the same hotel. The parents were livid, and they said the teachers didn't do enough to prevent this happening. And they were extra mad, seeing as the students were only...
Bro, it's a different level of being pissed, bro, and actually just, I want to kill you, bro. My 17-year-old daughter went off on a field trip and comes back pregnant. Now, granted, 17, they have that debate about being legally old enough to make decisions and stuff like that, so you do have to address your child as well, too. But, man, what happened to... I don't know. That's a whoo. I don't have a daughter, but I know if I did, I know how I am about my nieces. I'd be furious.
17 years old. At least the students had fun on the field trip, even if they will have to put up with a screaming kid for 6 years. And to top it all off, they're even too old to appear on 16 and Pregnant.
You gotta know this as a teacher or parapro or whatever they call them these days, bro. You got a bunch of horny teens going somewhere. You gonna let them be all in the same... Fam! What do you... Fellas, think about how you were at 17. I know how I was at 17, bro. And I was... You know what I'm saying? Like...
And make some money out of the situation.
I didn't need to be alone with no girls in no room for 5 days, bro. I thank God that ain't never happened to me. 'Cause I could have possibly had a child at that age, too, so... That's what I'm saying. Like, you got to put them in the best position to succeed. And that wasn't the best position.
Next up is Disneyland. Do you think you have mean teachers? Well, I bet they're nothing compared to the teachers at this school. As a reward for their students graduating, teachers at Rosedale Public School told their 8th graders they'd be going on a Disneyland school trip. Brochures were printed and a long presentation was given to the kids. They even made the kids do roommate arrangements and created a schedule for the Disneyland trip. The kids were obviously very excited, as what could be better than a trip to Disneyland with all your friends? However, it wasn't long until the teachers broke some bad news to them. They admitted it was all one big prank. You see, the teachers had lied about going to Disneyland, and really they were going to the local bowling alley. The teachers got a cheap laugh, but the kids were furious, and the prank was even caught on camera. Next up is snacks. This is one of the smallest and weirdest school trips on this list. One day at Wells Middle School, teacher Heather Caggle was teaching math. However, she got a little hungry, as you do, but she decided to sneak 11 students into her car for a snack run. 7 went in the back seat, 2 in the front seat, and 2 in the trunk. It must have looked like a clown car. No offense, girls. They drove to a local Walmart and grabbed some snacks. On top of all this, she had to leave 2 students alone in the classroom as they wouldn't fit in her packed car. She was obviously immediately fired, and may be the most irresponsible teacher on this list. What do you think? Check out the poll in the top right corner to vote for the worst school trip on this list. And guys, definitely...
Fam, you find out your kid was stuffed in a trunk to make a Walmart run? Man, hey, listen, man. I don't know. Maybe y'all need to sneak up and see what's going on with your kids at school. Just check on them. Just pop up. Just make sure they're good, man. And really check on the teachers and the environment, fam. And earlier when I said, you got to put them in the best, I played that back in my head. That sounded crazy. So I should have said no pun intended when I said you got to put those kids in the best position for them to succeed. After what they did, that sounded crazy when it played back in my head. So, you know what I mean? No pun intended. All right? So, y'all get at me in the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought of this video, man. This was insane. I didn't even think they were going to take it this far. But man, this struck a nerve. Several of these stories struck nerves with me. All right, so y'all let me know what you think. 10 school trips that went horribly wrong. Whew, it's your boy L, man. Till next reaction, I'm gone. Peace.